Assalamu alaikum. My project is emulating Exynos for 210 BootROM in QEMU. As Samsung Galaxy X2 easily to emulate its BootROM in QEMU, so here we are creating virtual Exynos 4210 processor in QEMU, which will emulate the Samsung S2 operating system or BootROM in QEMU. So the problem statement is just like that. How to extract the BootROM from a Galaxy S2 on implement additional requirement parameters in QEMU. So for that, the workflow will be the installing QEMU in Mac operating system with the help of Brew, because Mac does not support Unix and Windows softwares, so Brew will help to do that. Brew is a platform which which can install Unix and Windows softwares. So for that, simply we write brew install QEMU, and it will install a QEMU. So um, it will take a time to update homebrew libraries. After that, it will install that. We will back to see that what happened, and now we continued up what next. The second part is download the Samsung S2 ROM having .md5 extension. This is the same ROM which we installing in any Android phones with the help of any USB supported softwares. This is just like that operating system. We can say this is an operating system, and here we are calling it a ROM. That is a Samsung S2 ROM. The third one is developing a Exynos 4210 virtual board in QEMU, because we are running Samsung S2 on QEMU, not in a real hardware. So for that, we have to build or we have to design virtually Exynos 4210 uh, software processor in QEMU, which QEMU does not support directly, or not having built-in, as Raspberry Pi is running on QEMU, which can easily run, because the relevant ARM which Raspberry Pi is using already was in QEMU. So here there is no relevant or equivalent processor like Exynos 4210 in QEMU, so we have to build that. Just editing some codes and adding some codes in QEMU that can after that able to emulate S2. So the block diagram will be like that. So uh, first of all, we can see the Exynos 4 dual 45 nanometer technology architecture, which having a um, mm, processor and some peripherals like Wi-Fi card, Bluetooth card, audio jacks, and other supported hardwares, analog to digital, GPS modules, FM receivers, USBs, all of these are in this block diagram, in this diagram. So the next operating diagram or block diagram will be the for Android operating system, which we have in ROM, which we already downloaded, having .md5 extension. It will communicate with the uh, QEMU, that is emulating platform. We will build Exynos 4210 processor in QEMU, and QEMU will get the instructions from Android operating system ROM, and translating or converting in it will get the machine code from Android and will convert and communicate back with the Mac operating system real hardware, because here we are emulating it on code to do the processor, which built in Mac's machine. So Chemo will help out to do that. Android machine code will decode and then will be execute on Mac's processor, and again the result will back to Chemo, and Chemo will forward to Android operating system. Thanks. And the one already installed. So this is already installed here, so it can already installed the up to date or reinstall the blue chemo. I have already installed chemo, so this is all about chemo, which is installed in this operating system.